Chosen one, listen with the full attention of your spirit, for the heavens are stirring and a divine urgency is pressing upon your name. This moment is not ordinary. It is the 11th hour, the boundary between what has been written for you and what may slip away if your heart drifts. The Lord speaks, not in whispers, but with the gravity of a father guarding the destiny of his beloved. Stand still, chosen one. Your light is being tested. For even now, the record of your life is being examined before the throne, not to condemn you, but to reveal whether your hand still clings to his, or whether you are moments away from losing the very hand of God that has carried you this far. That trembling you feel inside is not fear, it is the nearness of divine inspection. Heaven does not draw close without purpose. A veiled force has been circling your path, attempting to tamper with the record of your calling, seeking to blur the imprint of God upon your life. Spiritual winds shift because the unseen conflict over your name has intensified. You stand on the frontier between divine protection and spiritual erosion, between the strengthening of your light and the dimming of it. And so the Lord calls again not to alarm you, but to awaken you. Chosen one, do not ignore this hour. Your destiny is under review. C.S. Lewis wrote in The Problem of Pain, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. This is that kind of moment, heaven raising its voice to shake you free from drift, to call you back before the separation becomes irreversible. Chosen one, take this warning to heart. This is not merely a message, it is a summons, a prophetic trumpet. A moment when the veil lifts just long enough for you to glimpse the weight of what is contending for your future. Before we move deeper into what heaven is revealing, pause and reflect. Which sentence struck your spirit the most? Share it in the comments below. Your insight may be the confirmation someone else desperately needs. And as this warning settles into your spirit, chosen one, you must understand something even more sobering. Heaven is not silent in this hour. The eyes of the Lord are upon you not in accusation, but in discernment, in deep and holy observation. There is a weight in the atmosphere because the realm above is measuring not merely your actions, but the posture of your heart. As Scripture says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:3. You are standing beneath that gaze now, not as one abandoned, but as one examined with divine precision. The flickering light around your path is not random. It is the sign of a spiritual tension that has formed above you. Something sacred is being evaluated. The silence you sense is not distance. It is the stillness of heaven waiting for your response. The angels have paused in their assignments, watching whether your spirit will lean into the light or drift toward the shadows that have been whispering at the edges of your destiny. You may feel as though nothing has changed outwardly, yet everything has shifted invisibly. The realm you cannot see is pressing in on every direction of your soul. Chosen one, the conflict surrounding your name has reached a point where even the spiritual winds hesitate. This is why your nights feel heavier, why thoughts have become louder, why an unexplainable pressure sits upon your chest. It is the nearness of divine scrutiny, mingling with the resistance of dark forces that seek to distort what God has written. Heaven is examining the strength of your grip, evaluating whether you will hold to the hand of God or allow the currents of discouragement to loosen what remains. The Lord watches not to frighten you, but to reveal the depth of your calling. For those with shallow purposes are not watched so closely. Only those whose steps carry eternal weight find themselves under such holy attention. And you, chosen one, have been marked as one whose decisions echo into realms far beyond the natural. Therefore, remain still in your spirit. The danger is real, but so is the covering above you. Heaven is leaning near, measuring your resolve, discerning your direction, and waiting to see whether your heart will return fully to the one who has never taken his eyes off you. Yet, chosen one, even as heaven watches, you must also confront the truth of what has been happening within you. The pressure you have felt in recent days is not a coincidence. It is the manifestation of an inner testing, a refining fire allowed by God to expose what is unstable and to strengthen what must endure. As Scripture declares, the testing of your faith produces endurance. James 1-3. You are walking through that very testing now. There have been moments lately when you felt unusually weary, as though your strength was leaking from the unseen places of your soul. At times, your prayers felt thinner, your focus dimmer, your spiritual senses dulled. You questioned why your peace fluctuated, why thoughts you had conquered years ago tried to resurface, why waves of discouragement rushed in without warning. This is not weakness, it is evidence of a deeper battle over the clarity of your spirit. For when heaven prepares to elevate someone, the adversary often stirs the dust of old vulnerabilities, hoping to cloud the mind and choke the heart before revelation settles. You have felt this fog, this heaviness, this strange resistance. But understand, it is not a sign that God is far. It is a sign that something in you is being forged. Every hesitation, every doubt, every restless night has been part of a spiritual pressure that seeks to reveal whether your foundation is built on feeling or on faith. Chosen one, the enemy has whispered lies in the quiet hours, suggesting that your steps no longer matter, that your prayers lose power in the wind, that your journey has stalled beyond repair. But these whispers carry the signature of the one who fears what you are becoming. His strategy has always been deception, distortion, and distraction. He aims to pull your emotions out of alignment with truth, so that your spirit grows tired before your breakthrough arrives. You must also recognize the internal conflict that has been rising, the tug-of-war between surrender and weariness, between trust and uncertainty. The tears you have shed in secret, the frustration you've tried to hide, the numbness that made you question your own fire. These are the symptoms of a soul undergoing spiritual refinement. The testing does not mean you are failing. It means heaven is preparing to reveal what you carry. And though this testing feels heavy, it is not meant to break you. God allows pressure only when He intends to strengthen what will soon be used. The fire you feel is not punishment, it is purification. The shaking inside you is not rejection, it is alignment. And the heaviness in your chest is not abandonment, it is the weight of destiny settling into place. Chosen one, your spirit is being stretched, not shattered. This is the hour where the fragile is exposed, the genuine is revealed, and the eternal is strengthened. You are being prepared, not dismissed. You are being refined, not forgotten. You are being tested because heaven has determined that you are ready for more than what you have known. And as this inner testing reaches its height, chosen one, the atmosphere around you begins to shift into something even more urgent. It is as though time itself has tightened, as though the spiritual realm has entered a countdown that your soul can feel before your mind can understand. The weight pressing on your spirit is the sign that heaven is drawing the line between what must remain and what must fall away. You are no longer standing in ordinary time, you are standing in appointed time. Scripture reveals this mystery when it declares, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay." Habakkuk 2-3. You have stepped into that very moment where delay and fulfillment collide. There is a holy tension surrounding you, a sense that something vast is approaching, and that every second carries the weight of spiritual consequence. This is why your heart has felt restless, why your thoughts have sharpened, why you sense a strange urgency that you cannot explain with natural reasoning. Heaven is in motion, and when heaven moves, the timeline of your life begins to accelerate. What once felt slow now feels imminent. What once felt distant now feels at the door. Chosen one. The countdown you feel is not a threat, it is a revelation. It is the final sweep of divine timing preparing to release what has been held back for so long. But this countdown also exposes every lingering hesitation in your spirit. The enemy knows his window is shrinking. His attempts to cloud your faith grow louder because he senses that his influence over your destiny is losing ground. That is why old fears tried to resurface, Why old wounds tried to reopen, why old doubts tried to whisper again, because the adversary panics when heaven is about to intervene. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit knows something is being set into motion. Angels are repositioning, assignments are shifting. The spiritual landscape around your name is trembling under the weight of what is coming. You are seconds away from a divine unveiling, and heaven is counting down not to your downfall, but to your release. For even as the tension intensifies, the presence of the Lord presses closer, urging you to hold your ground. Do not misinterpret the weight on your chest. It is not the collapse of your strength. It is the pressure of breakthrough forming beneath the surface. You stand at the brink of manifestation, chosen one. Every breath you take within this countdown is aligning you with the moment heaven has prepared. And so the countdown continues, not in fear, but in holy anticipation. What is coming is greater than what has been shaken. What is forming is stronger than what has been tested. And what will be revealed is more glorious than what has been resisted. You are not running out of time. You are stepping into the exact second heaven has written for your rise. And as the countdown intensifies around you, chosen one, something begins to shift beneath the weight, subtle at first, yet undeniably real. What felt like pressure from every side now reveals itself as the foundation of restoration rising from beneath your spirit. For the God who tests is the same God who rebuilds, and the one who examines the heart is the one who restores what was shaken. Nothing he allows is wasted. Nothing he exposes is left unattended. This is why his promise echoes through the ages. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Joel 2:25. That promise is now unfolding over your life like dawn breaking after a long and silent night. What you perceived as loss was never abandonment. It was preparation. What seemed delayed was never forgotten. It was preserved for the exact moment your spirit could carry it. The pressure you walked through was a refining fire, stripping away what could not remain and strengthening what must endure in the coming season. You feared God's hand slipping from your life. Yet the truth is that his hand has only drawn closer, reaching for you with a force stronger and steadier than before. The tension you felt was not his departure, it was his nearness, preparing you for a restoration that could not have come without the shaking. Chosen one, heaven has been holding things in reserve for you, things that could not be released prematurely, things that required maturity, clarity, and endurance to receive. Every tear, every moment of frustration, every night you wrestled with doubt has been woven invisibly into this divine moment. You thought you were falling apart, but heaven was rearranging you. You saw fragments, heaven saw foundations. You saw delays, heaven saw perfect timing. Nothing in your journey has been random. Restoration now approaches with authority, not hesitation. Strength will begin to return to the places that felt hollow. Clarity will rise where confusion once held its ground. Peace will settle into the atmosphere of your life like a mantle woven by the hand of God himself. And the restoration you are stepping into is not a simple return, it is an increase. God never gives back the same. He gives back greater wisdom, greater peace, greater resilience, greater vision, greater capacity to walk in what he has designed for you. Chosen one, understand this. Heaven is not merely repairing what was broken. Heaven is rewriting the landscape of your destiny. The countdown you feared was the signal of resurrection, not collapse. You are not being restored to where you were. You are being lifted to where you were always meant to be. The hand you thought you might lose is now the hand that will raise you higher than the seasons before could ever have carried you. And this restoration, now set into motion, is only the beginning of what heaven is about to unfold. And from the depths of this unfolding restoration, chosen one, a new movement of heaven begins to rise within you, gentle yet unmistakably transformative. It is the rebirth of your soul. This rebirth does not burst forth with thunder. It arrives like breath returning to dry bones, like warmth spreading through a heart long chilled by battle. You begin to sense life awakening in places you once believed were beyond revival. For the scripture declares, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. Ezekiel 36:26. What you feel stirring inside is the living fulfillment of that holy promise. This rebirth is far deeper than an emotional shift. It is a spiritual recreation. The heaviness that once settled over your chest begins to lift. The fog that clouded your thoughts starts to dissolve. The fractures left behind by seasons of silent warfare are now being filled with the breath of God Himself. What was rigid softens. What was numb awakens. What was dim becomes illuminated under the steady nearness of His presence. You may not yet see the transformation with physical eyes, but your spirit recognizes the truth. Something ancient, something sacred, is being restored in you. Chosen one. The trials that once seemed senseless now reveal their hidden purpose. Every tear you cried became a seed. Every moment you endured became a stone in your foundation. Every doubt you survived carved out room for deeper revelation. Now the Spirit begins writing upon those foundations with new ink, the ink of renewed identity, strengthened purpose, and restored clarity. No longer do you view yourself as the one who merely survived the battle. You begin to see that you were shaped through it, purified by it, and positioned because of it. With this rebirth, the weight of your past begins to fall away. The accusations that once clung to your mind lose their voice. The memories that once carried pain lose their power. You find yourself breathing differently, not with fear of what might come, but with recognition that something holy has begun within you. The winds of heaven, which once shook you, now fortify you. The light that once exposed you now fills you, and the God who examined your heart now rebuilds it from within. This rebirth is not a return to who you were. It is the unveiling of who you were always meant to become. Every weakness that once defined you is being rewritten. Every limitation that once held you is being broken. Every lie that once marked your identity is being consumed by the fire of divine truth. You rise not abruptly, but steadily lifted by a strength that does not originate from your own striving. Chosen one. Your soul is awakening. The breath of God is moving. The new spirit He placed within you is taking form. And though the world has not yet seen it, heaven already celebrates it for your rebirth, marks a turning point not only in your journey, but in the destiny awaiting you. And as the rebirth of your soul settles into place, chosen one, the atmosphere around you begins to surge with a force that cannot be mistaken. What has been rising quietly within you now erupts into a moment where heaven's intervention breaks through with undeniable brilliance. This is the climax, the hour when the unseen becomes visible, when the battle that raged in silence now unveils its victorious end. For it is written, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." John 1-5. That very light is now approaching your name with unstoppable authority. In this sacred moment, the veil between realms thins, and you begin to sense a radiance gathering at the edges of your destiny. It is not gentle this time. It is fierce, deliberate, and filled with purpose. What once felt like a distant glow now rises like a wave of holy fire, illuminating every corner of your inner world. Your spirit feels it first, an electric stillness, a trembling awareness that something immense is drawing near. And then, like a dawn breaking in a single breath, the light appears. Chosen one, the Archangel Michael steps forward within that light, no longer as a silent guardian, but as a warrior, declaring the final blow against the darkness that sought to claim your future. His sword, blazing with celestial fire, pierces through the very atmosphere around your name, cutting away the last threads of resistance. The shadows that lingered, the whispers that tormented, the heaviness that tried to suffocate your hope, they recoil, powerless, before the brilliance now descending upon you. This is the moment heaven has been leading you toward. This is the moment where everything shifts. The light does not simply shine around you, it surrounds you, enters you, fills you until your entire being resonates with the power of divine presence. It wraps itself around your name, sealing every fracture and silencing every lie. You are no longer standing as one who barely survived the storm. You are now standing as one who carries the radiance that ended it. The same light that once tested you now crowns you. For this light is not symbolic, it is transformative. It establishes what the testing prepared, what the restoration initiated, and what the rebirth activated within you. It becomes your shield, your mantle, your atmosphere. Darkness no longer has anywhere to cling, because the brilliance of heaven now claims every inch of your destiny. And so, in this climax, chosen one, you are not merely illuminated, you are claimed, marked, strengthened, surrounded by a glory that cannot be diminished. The breakthrough has arrived, and the light has won. As the victorious light settles fully around you, chosen one, the atmosphere shifts into something deeper, heavy with eternity, saturated with the certainty of divine decision. The battle has ended, the breakthrough has unfolded, and now heaven moves into its most sacred act, the sealing. This is not simply illumination but affirmation, not merely rescue but decree. Heaven is marking your destiny with permanence, for as Scripture declares, He set His seal of ownership on us and put His Spirit in our hearts as a guarantee. 2 Corinthians 1:22. That very seal now presses upon your life with holy finality. The radiance surrounding you does not fade. Instead, it concentrates, gathering like a crown of fire above your spirit before descending with the authority of the throne. It rests upon you with a weight that does not crush but confirms. All the uncertainty that once clouded your path dissolves beneath this certainty. Every instability that rattled your steps is broken. Every question that tormented your mind falls silent under the force of divine affirmation. Heaven is not only present, it is concluding what the testing, restoration, and rebirth prepared you to receive. Standing in this sacred moment, the Archangel Michael is no longer a warrior mid-battle but a sentinel of triumph. His sword, glowing with the last embers of victory, is lowered in reverent stillness as he watches over the decree being spoken into your destiny. The light surrounding your name transitions from brilliance to immovability. It no longer flickers or strains. It locks into place like eternal fire, etched into stone. This is the sealing of heaven, unchangeable, unrevocable, unshakable. You are not being sealed temporarily or conditionally, but permanently within the design God has written for you. Wounds that once defined you are now closed without trace. Accusations that once chased you are dismissed without appeal. Shadows that once clung to you are forbidden from returning. Your name, once trembling in the balance, is now engraved into divine purpose with the permanence of celestial gold. This sealing is not poetic language, it is spiritual law. What God seals cannot be unsealed. What heaven establishes cannot be overturned. What the Spirit affirms cannot be challenged. You feel its truth in the profound stillness that descends over your soul, a silence not empty but filled with authority, a quiet that speaks louder than any storm. The angels gather around your destiny, forming a circle of witness to what has now been written over your life. Every realm recognizes it. Every power bows to it. Every shadow withdraws before it. And so, chosen one, you do not merely stand in the aftermath of victory, you stand in the finality of divine sealing. Your identity has been affirmed, your calling has been secured, your future has been claimed by heaven itself. This is the moment when God speaks the words that end all doubt. It is done. As the seal of heaven settles over you, chosen one, a quiet shift takes place, no longer the intensity of battle, but the calm certainty of a new beginning shaped by God Himself. The shadows that once followed you have lifted, and a horizon filled with promise now opens before you. For it is written, "Behold, I am making all things new," Revelation 21:5, and you now stand at the edge of that renewal. This chapter is not a continuation of the old one, it is a divine reset. Paths that once resisted you begin to open. Opportunities that felt distant now approach with clarity. Peace returns to places that carried strain, The fog that blurred your direction clears, revealing a journey designed with precision by the one who has sealed your destiny. What opposed you before has no authority in this season. The atmosphere around your spirit becomes lighter, steadier, more intentional. Strength rises where weariness lived. Confidence emerges where hesitation once held you. You move forward not as one barely surviving, but as one rebuilt and reassured. Every step now carries the imprint of heaven's seal, unshakable and beyond dispute. And the Lord goes before you in this chapter, not merely guiding, but preparing. Doors you approach are ordained, connections purposeful, challenges refining rather than crushing. Nothing ahead is random. All of it aligns under His sovereignty. This new chapter carries the peace of completed work, a calm that follows victory. You walk not in fear of losing God's hand, but in the certainty of being held by it. Your future is no longer a question, but a promise. Chosen one, step forward. This chapter is authored by God, and no power in any realm can erase what He has written. And now, chosen one, as you stand upon the threshold of the future God has crafted, the journey reaches its magnificent crescendo. The storms have subsided, the seal of heaven rests upon you, and the path ahead shines like a corridor of radiant gold. This is no longer the season of testing or waiting. This is the season of rising. The hand you once feared losing is now the very hand lifting you into the destiny prepared long before your first breath. You walk forward, not in uncertainty, but in the certainty of one who has been claimed, strengthened, and established by the decree of heaven. In this sacred culmination, you finally see why the battle was fierce and why the darkness fought with such desperation, because what lies before you carries weight in realms both visible and unseen. Your journey becomes testimony, your voice becomes illumination, and your life becomes a vessel of divine intention, as C.S. Lewis wrote in The Weight of Glory, "There are far better things ahead than any we leave behind, and now those better things stand waiting at the very edge of your next step. The light that surrounds you is no longer a momentary visitation but a permanent mantle. It does not merely accompany you, it goes before you, straightening paths, leveling obstacles, and illuminating every assignment attached to your name. Your future is fortified, not fragile, ordained, not uncertain. You move into it carrying the strength forged in every trial, the clarity born from every refinement, and the authority bestowed by every divine decree spoken over you. This ending is truly not an ending. It is a coronation, a commissioning, a sending forth. The angels who once fought on your behalf now escort you into purpose. The light that once defended you now crowns you with glory. The God who once tested you now releases you into the fullness of His design. You step into the next season not alone, but covered, sealed, and surrounded. And with every breath, heaven itself testifies that nothing ahead can ever undo what God has already sealed within you. Chosen one, walk forward. The epic of your destiny has only just begun.